To get started in your WITS Gradebook, go to the Classes tab where you'll find the classes that you teach, and off to the right of the table you'll find a Gradebook option. If you've taught in the district before and have a class that's similar, you might find some things that are pre-populated there. If you're teaching a class for the first time or new to the district, when you open it up, you'll be forced to make some selections. You can either do that by pressing the category average calculation or the blue selected button. When you do this, you'll have to make a few decisions right off the bat. First off, will you be using a total point system or a weighted average? Once you've selected the type of system you'll be using, you can select different categories of grades. Perhaps I'm going to choose classwork and homework and tests and quizzes. Don't worry, you can add or change these later, so it's not life-altering if you're not sure what you want. Once I've done that, you can see I have added things and I get a couple extra buttons where I can add assignments, add a quiz-based assignment, import something, export things, reports, calculated average. There's still some more setup that you can do though. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll find a Setups button. If you press that, you can add some footnotes. Now, footnotes are a great way to automatically have WITS color code things in your gradebook. There are two that are there already, exempt and missing, and if you enter an M for any grade, it will count as 0 points in the student's average. So if I click the footnote button, I can add whatever I want. So I choose the code. Let's say I'm going to choose an L, and that is the assignment was handled in late. You can then choose a color that will show up for both you and parents in the WITS gradebook. So I'll choose this lovely yellow color maybe. Okay. And if I press that, you'll see that has now been added as as one of the footnotes that will show up in WITS. I can have some pre-selected comments if I want to start thinking about report cards at this time, but you might want to hold off on that. You will also have the option to have some miscellaneous setups as far as how your comments are going to show up. And in WITS, you can also have the number of students who have a certain grade on an assignment identified in a report, and we'll talk more about that later. But for right now, let's go in and add assignments so we can see how those footnotes work. So we'll just add an assignment. We can choose the date if I'm going to add this later. Obviously, you can change that date by using the calendar or entering it in. Marking period is a drop-down thing. So if you want to, if it's the end of the first marking period, but you want it to count towards the second marking period, you can do that. You can name the assignment whatever you want. The drop downs will give us those options of the categories we selected. I can choose the maximum number of points and a scaling factor. Like if I had 2 questions, but I wanted to count as a 10-point assignment in my gradebook, I would choose a scaling factor of 5. We'll leave that up to all our math friends to do that. If I show it as an event, the students will get a note on WITS. That is, like any social media sort of thing, the kids can just become overwhelmed with that and tune it out. So I would generally only do that for something that's very important. You can have this viewable by students at a later date. So maybe you don't want to post it until after you've gone over it. You can click that. We do have the use of in-house bubble sheets, but I don't even know if we have a scanner for that. So please check with us before you use that. If you want to have students upload a document, you can do that. And you can also have, if you're a CTE teacher, you can have that count as a business project. Once you've selected all the options you have, you'll save that. The assignment will show up in the gradebook. An option you can do is have the students view it. If you don't click this, neither the students nor the parents will be able to view the assignment, so it's wise to do that. At this point, if I want to enter things, I simply click on the assignment and I click Enter Grades. Now you'll remember we had some of those codes. So if I put an M, you will see that will show up as red and it counted as 0. If I put in late, you'll see it changes color, but it does not affect the student's grade. If you wanted to, you can go back at a later time. So let's say my policy was that I took off, 10% for assignments that were late. The student hands it in, gets a perfect grade. 10% from 2 is 1.8. I enter that, but I've left the L letting me know that points had been deducted due to tardiness of the assignment. So that's some clever ways and some intricate ways that you can use those footnotes. Once you have all your grades in, you can press save and you're on your way.